You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show, but there is a critical issue we're going to be looking at today on our interview segment. But first, let's let you know some basic facts. The business of law enforcement in a cosmopolitan commercial city like Lagos is critical, paramount, and of strategic relevance to ensure rapid developmental growth and, most importantly, the safety and security of lives and properties, as well as investment in this city. And so this makes the Lagos State Law Enforcement Training Institute a strategic organization. Today we've got the Chief Executive Officer and Head of the Law Enforcement Training Institute, Dr. Barrister Bajulaye Adegboyega Oyewole Esquire. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
What is the vision, mission statement, and core values of the Law Enforcement Training Institute, Leti?
The vision of Leti is to promote excellence in the conduct and knowledge of Lagos State law enforcement officers by delivering quality training, as well as developing and upholding, upgrading the professional standards of these officers. Then for the mission of Law Enforcement Training Institute is to produce well-trained officers who are self-motivated, interdependent, community-oriented, critical thinkers, and problem solvers, thoroughly indoctrinated in the ethics, professional standards, and tactical proficiency of law enforcement profession. We intend to ensure that the officers treat their work strictly as professionals, irrespective of situation and circumstances. They need to respect the citizenry because they interface with the citizen on a daily basis. Part of the core values is to let them know they need to appreciate the people, much as we won't believe it has to be mutual, but they need to pass that out before they receive the same respect. Then integrity. There is need to have high ethical standards for our officers. Then dedication to duty. Seeing a task through to the end and taking responsibility for our action is part of the four core values we have embedded in our programs. Then there is the teamwork. Leti comprises Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps officers, the CBD Corps. We train them as well. Vehicle inspection officers, Lagos State Sanitation Enforcement Agency, now known as CAI. We also have the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency, which are LASTMA. It is the Leti that takes care of their training. And because they have an umbrella body for training under Leti, there is need to encourage and enhance teamwork among these people. And that's part of the core values. We make them see themselves as one, especially during the training, so that when they go out, they will not see each one as working for himself alone, because they are all working for the state government. But when we talk of teamwork, there are certain areas that overlap in the course of their duties. And that's why on many occasions you will see LASTMA patrolling and controlling traffic, and you will have cause to see neighborhood officers, though they are community-based, they will still come. The law permits them also to handle and control traffic.
Can you tell us basically what's the scope of training, the nature, the limit, from a general perspective about the institute?
The scope of the training here is we do some classroom work, and we also put them to physical testing, physical agility. And most of those classrooms assignments are handled by consultants of high repute. The courses ranges from human psychology, mob psychology, to emotional intelligence, creating innovation and excellence in service, relating with public, courtesy and humanity in management. Those courses permeate through all those agencies, though there are certain selective courses that are very special to each of those agencies. Again, like neighborhood, for instance, we have community policing and intelligence gathering. For the LASTMA, we have the issue of managing traffic under a tense situation. One other aspect of the scope is that we ensure that they are fit and proper persons. You will see the experience of NSAS debacle, where most of our officers could not stand the pressure of the protesters. We try as much as possible to enhance their endurance capacity, and that is why after the 2 days undergo 1 day physical agility training for all of them. Normally the course is 3-day course, 2 days for classroom training, whereas they will have a 1-day training for physical agility and endurance tests. We have a retired army officer, and now just because of age, we have changed into a retired naval officer, and they are being assisted by some other paramilitary officers, including some of our officers whom we tag as instructors. There is the art of self-defense, which we train them. There is the combat training. We have trainers in martial arts. Other training, especially the one that will be highlight of this year's training, is the use of the body camera. The body camera was introduced by my predecessor and is the first in sub-Saharan Africa to be used by our law enforcement officers. But yet they are yet to be properly trained on its use. And so part of the highlight of this year's training is to teach our officers the use of those body cameras. The other training we have is not strictly from Leti. There are measures, some collaboration from the side of respective agencies, collaboration with some non-governmental organizations on the part of the respective agencies, whereby the officers are trained, like I'm aware in the Neighborhood Safety Agency, liaising with the French Embassy and some other agencies in the training of our officers on checkmating trafficking in person of recent. And we have had occasions in the past where some NGOs came on board to train our officers on the surveillance and the art of community protection.
What are the challenges being faced by the Institute? And basically, what are the laudable projective initiatives of the agency?
With regards to challenges, basically we are getting good support from the government. In fact, and we need to justify that huge investment the government has placed incurred on Leti. But we need more, by virtue of the fact that the law enforcement officers in Lagos State now numbers up to 11,000 plus. And all these officers needs to be trained annually. For our projections, we believe under my management, we have started the process of collaboration with the Institute of Security under the UNILAC consult, because they have wide curricula which will be of immense help to our institute. If I may mention a few of those curricula and courses: terrorism and strategic security, environmental and disaster management, digital forensic and cyber security, then transit security and border protection. These and others, we believe our officers, and Lagos being a smart city, as we have said, need to be tutored. The officers, the law enforcement officers, they need to be tutored and updated with respect to the modern crimes of all sorts. We are hoping to enlarge the dragnet further to other government agencies like LASWA, Lagos State Water Regulatory Agencies. You know, they need to do some enforcements in the course of their duties too. So we will discover that we are short of enforcement officers. So we will have loved a situation where the private securities join the state law enforcement officers in enforcing basic rules. So we are looking forward. We have written some of them to talk to them, chat, and see the possibility where we can collaborate together and start working together.
Dr. Barrister Bajulaye Adegboyega Oyewole Esquire, the CEO, Law Enforcement Training Institute. So what's your final word to all security and safety stakeholders and, of course, to Lagosians?
My word will first of all be to the public. They need to show respect to the security officers, the law enforcement officers, and we are training them to show respect as part of our core values. And this respect has to be reciprocal. It has to be mutual. So we are imploring the government, as having invested so much on these officers, we need to see them at work. We need to justify their work, and the public need to assist us in justifying their pay. So let's see them as officers upon whom much has been invested. In so doing, there will be motivation on their part to do more.
The City of Lagos TV show will continue in a moment.